You've tuned into Let's Figure It Out Intimately with your host, Tamaran. Want to be a guest live on her show? Email Tamaran at figureitoutlive.com. If you'd like to call into today's program, please call us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. This is Tamaran, and you are listening to Let's Figure It Out Intimately here today with my guest, the health detective, we call her, Dr. Oksana Sawiak. She is the owner of the Integrative Wellness and Detox Center here in Norval, Ontario, which is in Southern Ontario, not far from where my center is here in Bellefontaine. And that's actually how we met, is during a business support group, which I call Build Your Business Gathering Support Group that we offer here every 2 weeks here in Bellefontaine. So if you are local and you'd like to join us, it's only $12, but it gives you an opportunity to connect with other entrepreneurs. I do tend to attract people in the holistic new age type of an industry, so we can support each other, share our knowledge, and really get to know what it is that we all do. And that's actually how I found Dr. Sawiak, and I was just so impressed by her knowledge and the people that we both knew, and to grow that expansion of that community here, because holistic health has definitely changed my life, and that's why I like to have other entrepreneurs on this show. So very, very fascinating. So again, follow me on Facebook under Tamaran Karam, or go to Tamaran's Place on Facebook, and you find all the events on there as well, and you can come and join us if you'd like. So Dr. Sawiak, I'm so grateful that you're here. I just want to remind people again, if they would contact you, the free offer is an ion cleanse foot bath for detoxification of the body. And so if you mention this radio program, whether it's live or the recorded version, that they can come in for one of those and also get to see your center. You do a lot of great things there. So we were talking about a lot of different things before the break. What I'm fascinated by is understanding not just how mercury is bad, but understanding how it creates toxicity. I did not know that. Out of all the readings I have done and learning about health and wellness, I did not know that connection. So I'm very grateful for you to share that, because now I can explain that to other people as well. So I hope you people listening really understand what Dr. Sawiak is sharing with us, is that, if you are suffering from depression, panic attacks, autism, ADD, or you have kids that have had a lot of dental work done, you need to get this addressed and you need to get it checked out. So, do some research, find out if you have some holistic dentists in your area, and see if you can solve the problem, because this really is fascinating. So it's not just about the foods you're eating or the drugs. There just could be, no matter what you do, if you do have this mercury or these other metals in your mouth, that could be the last thing that needs to be addressed, or absolutely the first thing, if you have that knowledge. So Dr. Sawiak, this is just so fascinating. It's making me think of my childhood and all the problems I was having when I was having a lot of dental work done and getting braces, because like we mentioned earlier, I couldn't wear them. I just had to stop wearing them because they drove me crazy. And after today, I now understand why. So I want to address some questions about some other things you have here. Let's talk a little bit about fluoride and fluoridated water. I think we need to share some of that knowledge too. Can you speak on that?
Sure. Fluoride is a halide, meaning that it is the family where iodine, fluorine, chlorine, and bromine are. And it is put into our water presumably to reduce decay. And the scientific world is saying that since fluoride was instituted or included in water, that decay has gone down tremendously. It is not so. Dr. Hardy Lineback, who was the head of preventive dentistry for the University of Toronto, has come out and said fluoridated water does nothing to prevent decay. Sometimes if a person has a lot of decay, they can have fluoride varnish put on their teeth. But fluoridated water, fluoridated toothpaste, fluoridated mouthwashes, certainly the fluoride in formula is not going to help with decay. Xylitol is a much better way to prevent decay than fluoride.
Really?
Yes.
I did not know that.
Yes. If you chew 5 pieces of xylitol mints or gums per day, you will prevent decay.
Is that the only way it comes?
It comes as a sugar,
Right.
as a sweetener, and you could probably put a little bit of that in your mouth and dissolve it.
What about in a tea?
Sure. It kills bacteria. It
I
kills
did not know that.
bacteria that causes decay, because decay is caused by a bacteria. It's not caused by a softening of enamel.
Okay, so here's my next question. I don't want to get too far off topic, but I know this question will come up for people. What about the sugar content in xylitol? What would you compare that to? I know some things have like a high, like white sugar you don't use or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But would you compare that to like something that's not going to increase the blood sugar as quickly or not?
Xylitol does not raise blood sugar.
It doesn't. Is that safe for diabetics then?
It's totally safe for diabetics, and it's totally safe for dental.
That is amazing. I did not know that.
Yeah. So xylitol is a good choice that we have. And fluoride, unfortunately, is something that I will fight against till I die, because every 4th person that comes into my office is on thyroid medication.
Yeah, that's me.
Why? Because we have no iodine in our soil. The ice age scraped it away. And we don't have an ocean close by, and we don't eat sea vegetables.
Yeah.
So the thyroid, its food is iodine. If you don't have iodine, it's going to say, what can I substitute it with? And it goes for another halide.
Okay.
So the other halides are your bromine, your fluorine, and your chlorine. Well, 2 out of those 3 are in our water: chlorine and fluoride.
Okay.
The 3rd one is in all the white flour, because it makes the flour flow better. So you have 3 poisonous halides that take the place of your iodine on your thyroid, and we wonder why our thyroids are getting killed.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a thyroid that doesn't work well, you end up with what is called cretinism in children. And that's why they started adding iodine to salt. However, we don't eat enough salt to replace the iodine that we need for our children and for us. So fluoride is not only ineffective, it is a poison. It causes our thyroids to die, but it also causes osteosarcoma, which is the kind of tumor or cancer that killed Terry Fox.
Wow.
Especially in young boys. It makes bones more brittle. That's why we have so much hip breakage these days. And what is called osteoporosis, which is actually brittleness of bones, because of the fluoridated water.
Now I know why they call you the health detective.
Okay.
This is fascinating. I have never heard this knowledge.
Mm-hmm. So the fluoride is something that you can look up on the YouTube on a video called Poisoned Horses.
Okay.
It's by Dr. David Kennedy from the International Academy of Oral Medicine and Toxicology. That's a group that I belong to, and their motto is, show us the science.
Oh, wow.
One of the things that unfortunately is much harder to change is a belief system.
Yeah.
So if you've heard that fluoride is good 100 times, and then you hear fluoride is bad once, who are you going to believe?
Yeah.
It's a belief system. And unfortunately, it's not scientific, because science has proven over and over again the problems with mercury. For instance, the mercury in vaccines is really causing a lot of problems with autism.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's becoming so obvious.
And then you have the fluoride in their water. And then you have the various products that we feed our children, the various procedures that we put our kids through, like orthodontics, that is started far too late because the face has already grown crooked. And then you put braces on, you start expanding the arch, and the skull has to go somewhere, so it contracts, and in the skull is a saddle called the sella turcica, which houses our main gland called the pituitary gland.
Right.
When you expand the arches in order to make room, and you don't correct the skull bones, you are squeezing the pituitary gland in that saddle inside the brain. So it becomes very, very important to guide the development of the skull rather than waiting till the kid is 12 or 13 and then taking teeth out and just putting the teeth in the right place. Because quite often the jaw is already in the wrong place and it's halfway into the ear. The kids are having ear problems, ear tubes, hearing problems, problems with clicking jaws. And then they put their teeth straight in that same position and lock that position in. So you end up with kids that have posture problems. Their shoulder blades are like wings. They hunch over, and they're only 10 or 11 years old. They can't breathe through their nose because their nasal septum is deviated because the face has grown crooked. And all these things give chiropractors a lot of business.
Right.
But they should have been something that was guided by a dentist who knows structural dentistry.
That's fascinating. To your knowledge, do you know how many people have this knowledge, to deal with that stuff when the kids are younger? Like, how many dentists do you think, or do you know, that actually could do that?
There are functional orthodontists around, and many of them are general dentists that have an interest in orthodontics.
Right.
So when somebody is looking for this kind of dentistry, they need to find a structural dentist or a dentist that knows the neurology of posture.
Right.
Who knows how to make sure that all the bones are level, straight, and properly aligned, and how to do it without taking teeth out, without pushing teeth around, and maybe starting at 3 or 4 years of age.
Wow. Is it painful for a child that young to have that kind of dentistry done?
No, because they're usually rubber-like material, rubber-like appliances.
Oh, very fascinating. Okay, that's interesting. Is that knowledge in your book?
I do touch on it. I don't develop it very highly, but it is touched on.
Okay. All right. So good to know. So again, if anybody is interested in Dr. Sawiak's book, it is called You Well, and you can grab a copy of that at her website, which is drsawiak.com. And I just want to remind you guys, for anybody listening, the first 10 people who call and mention this radio program, whether you email me or you hit the host button here and let us know that you've been listening, she's offering a free ion cleanse foot bath for detoxification of the body if you do live local here as well. So this is really fascinating information. So I just want to recap what we've talked about. The fluoridated water is definitely not better for our health. It's actually causing damage. damage that we may not be understanding what's actually going on. And to recap what she talked about in the first part of the show as well is toxicity is actually occurring within our body due to mercury, mainly mercury and some other metals as well. So very, very fascinating information. And like I mentioned earlier, just listening to her talk about this knowledge is just, I'm just remembering things about my childhood, mainly because that's why I had a lot of dental work done. I haven't had much done since then. In fact, I still have a baby tooth, believe it or not. I shock my dentist every time I come in. It's still there, but very, very fascinating to know because I know a lot of people are suffering with things. So this is knowledge that definitely needs to be shared more and more. It's just so fascinating. So Dr. Sawiak, we're just about to go to commercial. We've got about one more minute. Just to go back to recap the xylitol. So you're saying people could substitute a sugar with xylitol, and xylitol does not raise the blood sugar levels. Is that correct? That's correct. And it kills the bacteria that causes decay. Okay, so that is a better alternative to using that. And I actually have some in my cupboard. I'm going to try adding it to some tea tomorrow and just see how it tastes. And then, because instead of chewing the mints or gums, which I'm not big on, I don't like to I just like to eat or nothing. I drink liquids. So for me, maybe an option for me is to just put it in some herbal tea because I love to drink teas. Yes, the idea is to expose yourself to at least 5 exposures. Okay. Of it per day. Okay. All right, good stuff. Okay, so on that note, what we'll do is we'll take our last break, and when we get back, I'm sure the health detective, Dr. Sawiak, is going to share some more great information with us. So stay tuned for more after the break.
The future of online TV is here. View exclusive content from your favorite talk radio hosts and new programs that you can't see anywhere else. Visit voiceamerica.tv today.
When you make decisions, do you ever find yourself in doubt? Are you trying to figure out what's right with you? Are you ready to truly change your life? Listen for the Access Consciousness radio show with the founders of Access Consciousness, Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane Here. Consciousness is all about including everything and judging nothing. Our program will help you break free from your personal limitations and enhance positive change in all areas of your life. Tune in to Access Consciousness, Thursdays at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern on Voice America Empowerment.
Do you feel that you are in the right industry of serving others, yet you are not attracting as many clients as you would like? Magic happens when anyone brands their true self as the forefront of their business. I am currently looking for entrepreneurs who know they have a calling, yet feel as though something is missing. Yes, sometimes we're in our business every day that we can't see our own gifts and uniqueness, and that is where I come in. My gift as an entrepreneur is that I was struggling with the same issue, so I hired other business coaches to help me see what I couldn't. It was an enduring, difficult self-discovery, but it was well worth it. It catapulted me to capture my talents and use them to help other entrepreneurs. And here's how I can help you in a way that is so unique, authentic, and super fun. I am looking for guests to be live on my radio show who are willing to share what they feel is their biggest problem in their business. And I will help you figure out what is the core issue and catapult your business forward. Contact me, Tamron, through my host page on Let's Figure It Out Intimately on the Empowerment Channel now.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN.
You've tuned into Let's Figure It Out Intimately with your host, Tamaron. Want to be a guest live on her show? Email Tamaron at figureitoutlive.com. If you'd like to call into today's program, please call us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Now, back to the show.
Welcome back. This is Tamron, and my guest today is the health detective, Dr. Sawiak. Please remember to check out her website, drsawiak.com. She has an amazing amount of information to share. So, Dr. Sawiak, I just want to let our listeners know, I know you're traveling a lot. You speak in a lot of different places. Where are you going to be in June? I know you've got something amazing coming up then. I believe it's on the 21st and the 22nd of June.
Yes, the AS Center is hosting me with a retreat. And on the Saturday, it will be for health professionals, dentists, hygienists, nurses, MDs. And then on the Sunday, it will be open to the general public. And I have not been there, so I'm looking forward to the retreat center. It's housed in an old church.
Ooh, very cool.
In Liskeard. And
nice.
The owner is a dear friend and previous patient of mine who has come through a health journey that she shares with people quite readily, that she feels she wouldn't be here if she hadn't gone through it.
Awesome. And I would imagine maybe that was due to you.
She credits me with that, yes.
Yay! We love people like that. So yes, I know you're doing fascinating work. Your knowledge definitely needs to be shared. Where are you going to be in July?
In July, I'm having a course in my center for dentists and hygienists. It's called Predictable Periodontal Outcomes. And gum disease is one factor in general health problems. Many people who have gum disease will end up with heart problems, with diabetes, with arthritis, with chronic fatigue, or with other chronic health issues because the focus of infection is in the gums. And when you go to your hygienist and your gums are bleeding, you have your teeth cleaned, you are actually pushing that infection into the bloodstream and causing your whole body an infection. So what I teach is, first of all, to identify what the infection is under a microscope, and then get rid of that infection before the cleaning is done. So the worse your gums are, the less I recommend you have a cleaning done until you have this information. And so this is totally counterintuitive for many dentists and many hygienists. But once they learn this, they go back and they say, I wish I had known that 20 years ago.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, if it was me, I would have named your book something else.
Is that right?
Yeah, we're going to talk after the show because You know what? I think you need to throw this in people's faces so they get it.
Well, there's such a poor science that standard dentistry and standard medicine sometimes is based on.
Yeah.
All this has been scientifically proven, and yet for some reason it's not being used as science in dental schools and in the standards of dentistry. And this is something that I'm very passionate about, because when you go in and you cut gums away that are sick, that are swollen and infected, what the heck are you doing to the rest of the body?
Yeah.
When a ear, nose, and throat specialist goes to take tonsils out, when you have an infected tonsils, he's not going to go in there and take it out.
Right.
You have to get rid of the infection first, right?
Yeah. So why would we do it with our teeth?
But we do it with our teeth all the time.
Wow.
So I get on my hobby horse with this.
Yeah. And you know what? Keep going, because this is simple for people to understand. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand this.
And I'm glad that I am able to explain it in such a way, because infection, especially the focus of infection, is something that has been around for a long time. It's been known to cause the body severe problems.
Right.
If you Google focus of infection, Medline itself has 150,000 references to it. And
Wow.
focus of infection is in the oral environment. It will be your ears, your sinuses, your teeth, your gums, your tonsils.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that, because you know what? I'm definitely coming into your clinic because I have had sinus issues for so long. I got a funny feeling this is all connected.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Sinus issues are often a symptom of problems that may be gum related or hidden infection related. When somebody gets a wisdom tooth out, for instance, and the socket is not cleaned out where the periodontal ligament that was holding the tooth in was not taken, scraped out. It's like leaving the afterbirth in.
Yeah.
It closes over, but there's a low-grade infection that can start in there. And wisdom teeth are on the heart meridian.
Yeah.
So people that get heart infections don't know where they are getting them from. It could be from a wisdom tooth that was not taken out completely.
Yeah, I remember that part from your book. That was fascinating.
Yeah. So I have lots of stories of people getting very, very sick just because they had a root canal done, which is not a safe way of treating a tooth, or an incomplete extraction, or a tooth that quietly died and got abscessed, but they didn't know it. For instance, I have not seen one case of breast cancer that did not have an abscessed tooth, an infection, a toxic filling, or a root canal filling on a tooth, on that meridian, on that side.
I believe that. You know, when we started this show, I kept hearing in my head something about breast cancer. You know, this is so fascinating. I'm so glad I've met you, because I'm going to finish reading your book. And yeah, I'd love to have you back on the show again, because you know what? There's just too much information here that people really need to look at this, because I would never think to go to a holistic dentist.
Now you do.
Now I know, because we can do all these other things, and sometimes there's just something that's just missing, you know. So this is really fascinating stuff. Very excited. I know you've got some stuff on YouTube as well. Will you share with our listeners how they can find you on YouTube, because we're getting close to the end of the show? I want to make sure they can check you out some more too.
I've spoken quite a few times in various venues. So out on YouTube, there are quite a few videos of me that you're welcome to watch, because it's public domain.
Right.
Health shows, the International Academy of Oral Medicine and Toxicology, and various other places. The main thing, though, that people need to understand is, although I am a dentist, I no longer practice dentistry.
Right.
I do wellness consulting, and the reason that the dentistry makes me unique is because I know that aspect of health.
Right. But
And
you
I-
can refer people, correct, to holistic dentists?
Yeah, and we do have 2 dentists in our clinic that do holistic work. One is a structural dentist and one is a general dentist. But just so that people know, because I get many emails asking me to be their dentist.
Right.
And that's not, I'm retired from that, so.
Yeah. Yeah, you're just sharing the knowledge. But yeah, you still have people right there that can do it.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And I can refer people to dentists in their area that are safe, holistically inclined, and at least will not poison them with the mercury or with the extractions or with the root canals that are being used elsewhere.
Okay, so that's great information. So if you do want to contact Dr. Sawiak, please remember to go to her website, drsawiak.com, and that's spelled drsawiak.com. Again, if you do have any questions, if you're not in front of a computer right now, please always remember you can click the email host button here on my host page, and that goes directly into my email box. It doesn't go to the radio show, and you guys can contact me and I can connect you with Dr. Sawiak as well. So I'm more than happy to do that. And just to remember, she has a free offer for the first 10 people who call or email us and mention this radio program. And if you do live locally, if you know someone that lives locally, get them to contact us, because she's offering a free ion cleanse foot bath for detoxification of the body. And that's done in her wellness center in Norville, Ontario, here at her Integrative Wellness and Detox Center. So, Dr. Sawiak, we're getting close to the end. One quick question I'm just going to ask you. I know you could probably talk for about an hour about this, but is there a way to reverse some of these effects? If say someone like me, I've already suffered, is it quick? I know it would depend on the person, but is there an actual way?
Yes, there is. There are many ways. However, it totally depends on the person, where they are, how open their detoxification pathways are, how toxic they are, with what kind of materials, whether there are layers of heavy metals to be removed, because, for instance, lead will block the detoxification of mercury, etc. But one simple thing is ion cleanse foot baths. I have one case right now where a gentleman has Parkinson's and his hand shakes. And the only thing I could get him in for was these ion cleanse foot baths, because he doesn't have time for anything else.
Right.
And after 5 sessions, the shake was gone.
Wow.
That's not saying that he's fine, but at least one of the symptoms is less.
Yeah.
He couldn't come in for 2 weeks because of extenuating circumstances. His shake is back.
Okay.
So just something as simple as an ion cleanse foot bath can be a detoxifier. There are herbs we can use. There are far infrared saunas. There are intravenous things we can use. There are so many
variables.
Your contact, Susan Bowman, is available.
Okay. All right. So we are at the end of the show. So I just want to remind everybody that, what we've talked about today, it's fascinating information. You can definitely reverse some of the issues that you have, but please go to Dr. Sawiak's website, drsawiak.com, and connect with her there. She's got her latest book out called You Well as well. So if you'd like a copy of that, that is where you can purchase that. So Dr. Sawiak, I want to say thank you so much for being on the show today. There's a lot of information. I know you're out there, you're on a mission sharing, and again, people can find it where you're speaking. They can find you on YouTube. So thank you for sharing that knowledge with all of us today. And I want to say thank you to the people who've taken the time out to spend it with us today on the show. And I hope you've resonated with us in some way, or you feel compelled to listen again, or even share a recorded version of this with your friends. There's just amazing information on here. And to do that, you can just come back to the host page here, and you go down to the links on the bottom, and it tells you exactly how to do that. And always remember that my life is the same as yours. I'm not perfect. I'm just human. But I'm this woman who just wants to have more fun in my life, and I want to be healthier, and I want to keep learning and sharing that knowledge with all of you guys, because, we are living in an age where we have so much information in front of us, so much technology, and so many amazing people, just like Dr. Sawiak today, who we can learn from. So I didn't have that in the early part of my life, but I love to share that information with everybody now. And thank you for listening, and I hope you remember to come back again next week for another great show here with me, Tamron, on Let's Figure It Out Intimately. So cheers for now.
Thank you again for listening to Let's Figure It Out Intimately. Please join Tamaron again next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Let's figure it out intimately. Again.